Hello, hello, hello. Okay, so composure. Hello, my name is Ben. You know that if you're watching this, probably anyway. So I am back from Wellington, and a lot has happened since I've last had the chance to record a video confessional, and so I figured I would just come on here and speak to what has happened for the last couple of days. It's kind of like the last week, actually, since I'm scrolling up frantically on my phone to see when the last video confessional I did was. I want to say it was Bethany, when Bethany was eliminated, but we'll see, we'll see, we'll see. Okay, so let me look. Yeah, because the Zero vote happened and I crashed out. That was not fun. Megan pissing me off. Maybe it was the Reese vote even. Holy shit, okay. So yes. Yeah, that's right. Wow, I could probably start this video again. I'm not going to. So anyway, um, yeah, before the break, wow, Epoch Reese out episode 12 win. And then I filmed a video before then as well. This is like one of my YouTube favorites, Amanda BB. Episode 10 recap. Okay, cool. So yeah, it's been since episode 12, so it has been like 5 episodes. So it's been like half the merge since I've done a video like this. This is Peach Vitasport electrolyte drink. Cheers. Mm. And so yeah, I wanted to do a video, kind of talking about what's happened so far in the game. And holy shit, I've made the finale. That's probably the biggest thing, right? Is wow, I've made the finale. It's so cool that I'm here and in the finale. The final episode, I've made it to every single episode. I have done something that, quick maths, 16 people wanted to do and didn't. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Yeah, exactly. So I think that's really, really cool. And, you know, I know that placement is not everything, and placement is not determinant of how good of a player you are. I know that there are better players that have been eliminated before me this season, but I'm still here, and I cannot underrate myself. I know I'm a good player. I know I'm good at these things. I've had such wild imposter syndrome. Kind of this whole season, I've gone back and forth of am I an all-star, am I not, am I capable enough? You know, these are really strong American players, you know, I feel like I'm not worthy, and so the fact that I'm here is so incredible. I have had such a wild underdog story. To go from being nearly eliminated against Panini to now be here is wild. The fact that I nearly went home in the second episode is absolutely chaotic. And then I nearly went home in the fourth episode, and then I, you know, could have gone home over Kara, honestly, but, you know, that didn't work out. And then, of course, we saw the Reese... No, not Reese. Rocky be eliminated, which, you know, Megan totally could have not been eliminated there, and it could have been me. Megan insists she would have played her idol for me, and I hope that's true, but who's to say? I don't think so, honestly. And then Addie voted for me at the first tribal council of the merge. I lost my ally Reese. I lost Bethany. I lost Addie, of course. I lost Belle. And now I'm at this point in the game where I guess I'm in a final 3 alliance with Rocky and J-Ro, and Megan insists that Rocky's going to win, and I don't know how to feel, honestly. If I can just make it to the final 3, that will be amazing, and I'll feel really, really good. I definitely want Megan out. But honestly, Megan's not going to vote for me to win, but she's just had such a formidable game that she has to be eliminated at this point. And honestly, I want Dave out as well. The fact that I have gone so hard for Dave for so long. Even today, I was messaging Dave kind of jokingly, being like, oh my god, I've tried to get you out since the final 10 and you're still here, what the fuck? And he was laughing, but obviously he's like, okay, being weird thing to say. I just don't think he sees the humour in it like I do. We don't gel like that, and that's fine. He's an old man. And so, yeah. I definitely want Dave out, because I think it'll be such an awful look. Oh, that was giving horror movie, you know that. It would just be such an awful look for me to, you know, reach the final and to have insisted that Dave be eliminated for so long, and then for Dave not to go home. Like, can you imagine? Anyway, so I have made this chart, which I'm pretty proud of. You can't see it. Yeah, you can kind of see it. It's at the top of my finale confessionals. The fact that I can even see the finale GIF banner is so fucking cool. And so, yeah, it's been a wild ride to get here. We had a rock draw today. Can you believe it? It's been go, honestly. I'm so proud of myself. Just a long road to get here. And, you know, I've honestly compromised a lot of my Wellington trip too, as well. I was so sad that, like, I crashed out and was in 2 minds over the Sierra vote, which I'm going to explain now. But also, I had to do the final 6 spreadsheet arts one in Wellington, and that was weird, even though I won. So yeah, I've actually won 2 challenges since we've last had a video confessional. The first was Puzzle Bets, which, oh my god, the fact that I won Puzzle Bets. I believe Puzzle Bets was the challenge that I lost at the final 6 in my original season. I'd have to go back to check, but yeah, the fact that I did win that is incredible because it's redemption. Holy shit. It means so much that it's that specific challenge in particular. So cool. So yeah, anyway, I basically, this entire video is stuff after the break, and before the break was Bethany being eliminated. And so it's kind of been relevant in this episode just been where Brooke was rocked out, all stars. I'm slipping off the bed, because Bethany, of course, I didn't vote for, and I didn't vote for Belle either. I voted for Rocky, and it was brought up in the tie vote that happened in the penultimate episode of the season today, concluding today, where, I voted for Rocky, oh my god, we, voted out Bethany to save Rocky. You targeted Rocky, Ben, what the hell? And it's just fascinating to me because, like, of the candidates, Belle, Bethany, Rocky, they were all people I wanted here over Brooke, Dave, and Megan. So, like, God, this entire merge, it's felt like my allies have been the ones eliminated, rather than the people that I actually want to go have not been going. So, like, you kind of look at my trust ranking, and it's so funny to see just how, like, skewed it is, I guess, because the people that I, have invested in are the ones that have gone home. I've kind of been a bad luck charm in that sense. Like, it's been ominous the way that the people I've wanted eliminated have survived. Maybe that's just because my social game has been bad, but I'm still here, so whatever. I've had some wild character arcs as well, like disliking Megan, even though we started out loving each other. We've had such a sibling rivalry. And then J-Ro, the fact that I really didn't like J-Ro at the start, and now he's my favourite person here. And the fact that, like, J-Ro has not talked shit about me, he says, the entire season, but I don't know if I believe that. We definitely started off distrusting, and if J-Ro had his way, I would have been the first eliminated from Doomsday Tribe. So the fact that we're the last 2 from that yellow original tribe is so fun. I cannot believe it. Anyway. So the nuance to the Bethany vote, I guess for me, I woke up and it was Belle was going to be eliminated, but there was a big sway for Belle to stay. And I understand now that Megan was probably quite high on Belle. Apparently, Megan even voted for J-Ro because she wanted Belle to stick around at the final 7 vote, and that was an ulterior motive to the idol situation. So I find that rather interesting, honestly. It kind of annoys me. I would like to think that Belle was always close to me. I think she was, but she could have been playing the field absolutely, especially after Sarah was eliminated. I'm sure Belle had ulterior motives and was trying to play those kind of secondary allies that she had to improve her standing. But yeah. Like, I don't know, it's not surprising to me that J-Ro is still around, considering Dave is still here, that sort of thing. Like, I've always thought those two somewhat had a bond together, like a father-son vibe, but maybe I'm reading too much into that. But yeah, I was definitely glad that, I was not glad at all, what am I saying? I was so sad that Bethany went home. I did not want Bethany to go home. I didn't want Rocky to go home. But at the time, of the 3 candidates, those were the 3 candidates, the 3 names, it was Rocky who was the option, right? And at that point, Rocky had voted for Reese, so I had no reason to, like, stick by Rocky. Even though I really should have, because Rocky, Bethany, Belle, J-Ro, and I, imagine if we'd voted together. Now that I see the tribe dynamic way more clearly, it's easy, hindsight is 2020. I definitely would have tried to go for, say, I don't know, Dave. I probably could have gone for Dave again and tried to get him out. I don't know, but those sorts of things you can only think about in hindsight, and it's easy for me to say now, so yeah, but they definitely hold it against me how I voted for Rocky, but in a weird way, I think me voting for Rocky at the final 9 almost shows how I am a loyal player, and someone that Rocky can trust at this juncture, because I'm willing to stand out for my allies, and I think he knows that even if I was not immune at this final 6 vote, that I still would have gone to Rocks. Honestly, and this is controversial, I never draw a Rock. It's really good that I was immune, and this is probably a fun extra that you can talk about in the speak chat, Tony, or whoever's watching this. Hi, if you're watching this, give me a lemon emoji, please. Random, but or a peach, yeah, fruit. Yeah. I never draw a rock. I would not draw a rock. Roaring rocks is not for me. Drawing rocks is not for me. It's not in my wheelhouse. It's not in my nature. I play self-preservation. I play under the radar. So I would genuinely not draw a rock for anyone. I would have probably flipped on J-Ro just to survive. I don't know. because I'm not going to put myself in jeopardy this far into the game like that. I'm just not. And if it cons me in 5th place, so be it. But yeah, I don't think I would have gone. I don't think if I was immune. I think if I wasn't immune, rather, I think the round would have gone a lot differently. That's just my truth. That's just my truth. Anyway, so yeah, cool that I was immune because Team TV meant that we got rocks and Brooke was eliminated. I was so happy to see Rocky pull that white rock, but I wish it was Dave anyway, because then I would have had more options. But now I kind of have to go to the end with Rocky. I was considering going with Brooke because I don't know what Brooke's game has kind of been, but I think her social positioning has been really good, so it works out. It's fine for me. So funny that Reese is the only guy on the jury still. Anyway, and of course my goal is Megan to be 5th, so the goal is to have it be all the women and Reese in the jury, actually. Anyway, sorry, not what the women probably want, not what the, girls and gays and theys probably wanted in the jury, in the spectator chat, but it is what it is. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. It's just the way the game's played out. So yeah, Bethany. I was so sad to see her go, and I definitely felt like Rocky and I were pulled against each other in that vote. There were random chats made to save Belle, and I was like, why the fuck is Dave in this chat? I would much rather Dave go home. Why was Brooke suddenly in this chat? Like, what the hell? And so I knew that Bethany was going to be eliminated as those random alliance chats were made, and Dave was suddenly in the loop. That really pissed me off, honestly. But it's fine, because, in hindsight, that sort of round probably pushed for there to be that 4-4 discourse at the final 8, where, the whole thing at the final 8, jumping ahead, I'm, sad for, oh my god, so fucking sad that Bethany's out. I love Bethany, she's so cool. I'll never not love Bethany, to be honest. Before this game, after this game, during this game, I love. This game reinforced that I love Bethany. Anyway, the final 8 vote. The final 8 vote was characterized by this threat that J-Ro, Belle, Sarah, and Dave were a 4-person alliance, and that they needed to be split up, right? But I must say that the break day was at a bad... I'm just looking at my confessional. The break day was definitely at a bad point for me because I felt so dismissed at this point. I was left out of the loop on this Bethany vote, and I had just been blindsided twice, Reese and Bethany. And those were 2 really strong allies that I thought I really trusted and needed in the game, and they were obviously backing me and all that stuff. And so, yeah. I wish that I had backed Bethany more and tried to keep her around more, but I was kind of picking between Belle and Bethany, and it's like, I don't want either. So at that point, Rocky was 3rd on the list for me, so of course I was going to vote for him. But it is what it is, yeah. I just felt like I was totally out of the loop and that I lacked social bonds and all that stuff. But, I felt dead in the water. And, I've definitely had my moments in this game. The kind of 7, 8, final 7, final 8, final 9. Final 10 to final 9. I think the final 7 was somewhat okay for me. I was definitely in the pits. And it was not fun for me to be around. So, yeah, tragedy, but it's all helped my underdog kind of story, and yeah, as I say here, #HopeCallMinds here, I want to patch things up with Rocky and Megan, so yeah. And then I kind of wanted the big move to happen at the final 8 and final 7, which I was right, it happened, just not the way I wanted, but anyway, so yeah, the final 8 vote, this is me crashing out, scroll, and yeah, I've been really savage against Dave, Brooke, and Megan as the game has gone on, and it's definitely been me kind of just scapegoating them, trying to have someone to go against, and that's sad because they've just been kind of outplaying me, so good for them for sure. It's also kind of just the fact that I maybe am projecting, and the fact that they're doing better than me, so it is what it is. I've definitely had my moments where it's just I just need to get my frustration out, and they're the ones that are in my enemy lineup, so yeah, but I've definitely had my emotional moments, and yeah, I just hope that if anyone looks back on my confessional, they do it with kind of remorse and empathy, and see that I don't mean it now, because I've definitely been using this as a safe space. So yeah, final 8, oh my god, touchy subjects. Megan and I apparently both said Sarah for everything. If I had said Sarah for all of it, as well as public, then I would have at least tied with Rocky, and so we would have gone to a tie break, so that would have been so funny. But yeah, I don't really like touchy subjects, and it is what it is. I got all of the bad ones, kind of. At the final 8 onwards, I've been like, damn, I'm just a goat, and I'm gonna be a lock for the final treble because everyone thinks they can beat me. And yeah, it's probably right that I don't have much of a game, but I am a very good debater. I don't know if you've seen like the Murog season 1. I was so good at that final treble council. But like, I don't know how formidable, of course, these other people are in final travels. I imagine that Dave gave Nick a run for their money, so there you go. And I'm sure Megan's formidable. I'm sure everyone's formidable in final travel councils. I can't think that far ahead. There's still 2 rounds to go, but yeah, definitely thinking about touchy subjects not so happily. I was not so happy about the outcome. But yeah, at this point, it was, oh my god, so who of Dave, J-Ro, Belle, or Sierra is going to be eliminated? And I didn't want it to be Belle or J-Ro. At this point, I do trust J-Ro, which is wild. Belle and J-Ro, yeah. With Bethany going and Reese, J-Ro kind of rose up my rankings of trust. But yeah, the biggest things was that it ended up being Belle, Sierra, and J-Ro were going to be all together, and that Dave was kind of benefiting from this 4-4 situation. And so I was just thinking about, like, if this is an actual 4-person alliance, then the one person who's on the outs that is flipping, they actually have quite a lot of agency. And so going for Dave, I mean, I targeted Dave at the final 10 when Reese said that Dave had said my name, or at least was somewhat pushing it. I kind of do believe that, and I've said this to Dave even today, how, like, even if Dave wasn't someone who was directly targeting me, that I've characterized Dave as someone on the opposite side of the tribe to me, as someone who had alliances beyond me, and so it made a lot of sense for me to target Dave anyway. And it's not like we were connecting all that much. It's not like I was on a tribe with Dave pre-merge even, so it's not like we've had all that long to connect. And so when the vote ended up shaping up to be Dave versus Sierra, I was not only surprised because I was like, wow, I thought Dave and Sierra would have been aligned, but it kind of opened my eyes to how strong of a player Dave was. And I kind of also suspected that Dave had an idol. He was not being ferocious. Like, Dave randomly called out Bethany at the final 9 vote, and that really stuck with me. Like, wow, that's really a ferocious move. And then none of that energy was provided at the final 8, so it made me think that Dave had something, and I was right. But then I made the dumb move of voting for Dave anyway. But, like, I think it was a smart move because ultimately at that point I couldn't really deviate from what Belle and J-Ro and Sierra were voting because I wanted to vote with them at the end of the day. So I agree with you, Morgaine, and Morgaine, I love you so much because your reactions have meant a lot to me in my confessional, because I don't think I lost all my winner equity. Of course I lied to Brooke and Rocky and Megan and Dave that I was voting for Sierra, but, like, of course I actually should have lied, because that's probably one thing to try and get Dave off voting for or putting his idol there. I definitely should have been more confident about lying. Maybe then Dave would have not played his idol. But at that point, it probably works out as well that Sierra goes home because Sierra was definitely well connected, closer to Belle and J-Ro than me. And, you know, I learned that J-Ro and Sierra live 10 minutes away from each other. J-Ro told me that a couple of days ago, so that was so surprising to me. It definitely made me feel good that I stuck by Sierra. Because, you know, clearly Sierra was good people, and I could have actually got to know her a bit better. She was always fun in my DMs rather, and I loved chatting with her, but yeah, had other connections beyond me, but that's also kind of virtue of us only meeting like Dave. I only met Dave and Sierra at the merge, so you can only go so far with kind of those connections, but yeah, it's not like we really hit it off. I was happy that I kind of stuck to my guns and went for Dave. And yeah, as I say, at the final 10, it was kind of me versus Dave before it became Reese versus J-Ro, so it was what it was. Megan was probably the most pissed at me. She was blaming Bethany for being really leaky, but then was like, oh, well, Ben, I guess you were the leak the whole time. And I didn't really appreciate that. I feel like Megan has really victim blamed me. She's definitely emotionally manipulated me this season. She plays the victim a lot, and it really annoys me. I don't appreciate that strategy. I feel like she should be more, I would respect her more as a game player if she was like, yeah, I'm a threat, get me out, but you can't. But she's just not like that, and that sort of approach, yeah, it rubs me the wrong way a little bit. I know she's threat level mitigating, but like, yeah, you're literally the best immunity player in epochorg history. Why is this happening the way it is? And so, yeah, anyway, I didn't like that from her. And I didn't like how she said emotional manipulation against Brooke was something that we did today. I would just call it manipulation. I don't think it was necessarily emotional. Maybe Rocky was being emotional about his approach towards trying to get Brooke to vote Dave so we could 3-2-1 Megan. But anyway, yeah. That's why I said if anyone is an emotional manipulator, it's Megan. You've seen my confessional this season and my thoughts on her. If you're watching this, anyway. But yeah, Megan also argued a lot with Belle and with Sarah. So a part of me is like, well, maybe Megan would kind of be hated, but she's also she's played a really strong game. I cannot deny, and I don't know if she'd be villain of the season, but she's probably up there for her strong gameplay just alone. Like, she's controlled so much. Her and Dave have voted right every time, except for, of course, now the final 6. And so, yeah, I don't know. It's also the fact that Dave had an idol and no one knew about it. That's so impressive. That's so scary to me. So the final 8 definitely opened my eyes to Megan and Dave being great game players this season. And yeah, I just crashed and burnt afterwards. Megan in particular and Brooke, they guilted me into saying I made the wrong choice. And Rocky was kind of understanding about it. But yeah, my whole head was not there, honestly. I was in tourist mode. I was walking along the Wellington waterfront. I was trying to hang out with my friends, and like, it was just not all there for me. And so I was kind of just working off my heart rather than my head. And my heart told me to rat out the plan. And my heart told me to, go for it and try to, I don't know, save Sarah at the last minute. And so that's what happened. I probably would have flipped. I told Brooke and Rocky that after the fact, that I would have probably flipped if the vote was 4-4, but I don't know, actually. In hindsight, I don't know. Anyway, so then we move on to the final 7 challenge. And wait, was the final 8... No, the final 9 was when I was immune, right? The Bethany vote. So, yeah, puzzle bits, good times. Final 8 was touchy subjects. Awful challenge, as always. And then final 7, I was at the museum. And so I was, kind of also in 2 spaces. The last kind of week of the game, I've been in tourist mode, and that's been bad for my end game, but I can't dedicate my entire life to this game. I'm so sorry. As much as I want to, and I know that other people would have killed to be in my position, they probably wouldn't have killed. This is a free game on Discord for fun, but the amount of people that love this game and epochorg and Survivor and Discord and yada yada, and they would want to be here, and so many players that have been eliminated before me who want to be here, it feels like I'm doing a disservice to them to try and not prioritize this game. But like, I do have a life, I'm sorry, and like Easter time meant that like I was trying to chill out, but it obviously was not a chill time for me in this game, and it never fucking has been. So anyway, I've been trying to put myself here as much as I can, but it meant that I couldn't convince Rocky to vote Dave or Megan at the final 7, and that annoyed me because it took Megan and Dave and Brooke voting for J-Ro, and it took a 3-3-1 tie. It took a random blindside for Rocky to wake up, and of course it worked out because Brooke was rocked out at the final 6, but like, I totally explained to Rocky why he should have flipped at the final 7 and gone for one of Megan or Dave. I think Brooke was immune at that point, I can't remember. Yeah, she was. So anyway, I was pleading my case, I was like, they're 3 really strong players, they're all connected, it's been a fluid game, you can't trust that they're gonna stick together, but also you can't trust that they're not going to blindside you. And then, God, the fact that they threw Bethany under the bus like that, yeah, I voted for you, but you should see that as me being loyal rather than not. It's the same as me voting for J-Ro, actually, at the final 10. It's funny how I'm now in a final 3 with Rocky and J-Ro when I voted for them at the final 10 and final 9 votes, right? So, anyway, this is already 24 minutes long, and if it doesn't save, I'm going to cry. So let me kind of speed along. I could do 2 parts, but I don't know. Yeah, let me do 2 parts, actually.